9 former Oregon Ducks will look to elevate their draft stock at this week's NFL Combine. And George Wrighster has annoyed me with yet another ridiculous ranking involving the Ducks. All that and more here on the Ducks Confidential Podcast. I am Aaron Fentress of the Oregonian OregonLive. He is George Wrighster of the Unafraid Show and the CW. It's Combine Week, George. Does it bring back memories to, what was that, 2001 for you when you participated?
2001? No, man, 2003. Hey,
damn.
First of all, before we start and get deep into this, Aaron Fentress, when we talk about things about me and my history, he is surprised all the time. He's like, George, hey, you were a JUCO guy, right? What? And then he's like, hey, did you go to the Combine? I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, I said you went to the Combine, right? Like,
I was run of the night, standard issue player. No, Aaron.
Were you a walk-on, George?
Exactly. You might as well ask me that too. There's nothing wrong with being a walk-on. Look at Bryce Betcher, who's at the Combine
I didn't
now.
say anything was wrong with being a walk-on.
I just want to get that out there. But the fact that he's like, oh yeah, George, yeah, he was a fly-by-night player. Get out of here.
No. I knew you were a drafted player. I knew you played several years in the NFL. The reason why I asked about the JUCO thing is because Football Reference only has you for 2 seasons. And so I think when I saw that, I assumed you were a JUCO guy. So you need to call Reference and tell them to put in what it, because you played in 2000, didn't you?
Yes, but
then they should have 2000 George Wrighster. How many games you played at least?
I told this story before, Aaron. So in 2000,
we're off the rails already.
In 2000, I played in every single game, at least 15 or 20 snaps a game. First game of the season, we played at Wisconsin, Camp Randall, which is one of the greatest places to play college football. By the way, it's still behind the Autzen Stadium, but it is up there. Their fans are amazing. Anyways, in that game, Michael Bennett also ran for he had 26 carries for 19 yards, but the defense was killing him, except for he had three carries for 220. No, seriously. But
I remember.
Joey throws me a ball in the back of the end zone. Terrible pass. I catch it, but then I get flipped over, land on my head. Ball pops out, right? Whole rest of the season, not one single solitary pass came back my way. We played against Texas in the Holiday Bowl. I am bawling my eyes out after the game. Everybody's happy. We beat Texas. Lights are out in the stadium. Fireworks are going off. And I'm on the field crying my eyes out. I played the entire season. No stats. I didn't get a penalty.
I didn't get Go ahead, sorry.
One target, and they weren't even keeping track of targets at that time. So, I was like, the only way anybody even knows that I'm on the team is because I was in the picture. If they watch film, they're like, oh, who's that number 81 guy over there? And so then that was the best thing that ever happened to my career. I was like, this will never happen again in my life. Busted my ass, and the rest is history. But that's why there are no stats from 2000, Aaron, and then there are no stats from 2003, Aaron, because I left as a junior. Do you understand what it's like to leave as a junior? You have to be a special player to leave as a junior and get drafted.
Ooh, how long you been holding that in there, George?
And I had a second round grade, and then the Cowboys and other teams called me in the second round. However, I talked to Bill Parcells after I go in the 4th round. I'm like, yo, I thought y'all were going to draft me. He said, well, the issue was some of your character issues. I was like, what? I've never been in trouble a day in my life.
Hey, and I can vouch for those character issues.
And they were like, but both of your roommates had DUIs, that you were around some gang members. And I was like, what does that mean?
And gang members at school?
No.
When you were growing up?
Yes, but also.
Damn, they dug all in your stuff.
Yes. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't do any of these things.
Yeah, but you were hanging around them. Guilty by association.
Yes, and that taught me a lot about the circle that you hang around you and the people that judge you.
Very true. Okay, but can we move past the JUCO thing? I feel like I really touched a nerve with that. It kind of hurt you, and I feel bad. JUCO, I feel bad, but it was an honest mistake. It was an honest mistake. But we should call. I'm gonna see if I can contact reference. Say George Wrighster played in 2000. He played in all 12 games. Put 12 games there, and then zeros across. And one target. Is there a target? No, there's no targets on there.
Yes, exactly.
What would you rather? Leave it blank, or would you want the 2012 games, zero anything? What would you want?
Give me my one target. Just at least acknowledge that I was there.
They don't have targets on the college.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nowhere to put it.
So you just have to game, but you can have games though. Just to show you played.
It's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal.
Okay. I'm glad. I hope that was therapeutic for you to get all that out. I didn't realize this was such a touchy subject for you. Well, let's talk, before we get into breaking down all 9 players who are going to the combine. And the 9 are Bryce Betcher, Noah Whittington, Malik Benson, Kenyon Sadiq, Jaden Kennedy, Dylan Thieneman, and then 3 linemen, Harkey, Pregnon, and World, are all going to the combine. 9 dudes. I talked to an NFL scout for a bunch of articles I'm going to do this week on each individual player. The initial preview is on OregonLive right now. You can check it out. The scout broke down each player and what he feels about them and their, what they need to do at the combine to elevate their stock, etc. But I'm curious because, George, I looked you up. I looked up your combine. And I'm looking at this 40 time, bro. This 40 time has you as a 4.89. Now, you were a tight end and all, but
Aaron, stop it. Stop. You are trying to troll me right now. I told you before the show started, I did not run a 40 at the combine.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen,
hamstring. I did all the jumps. I did the broad jump. I did the vertical. What does it say my vertical was on there?
Okay, it says, hold on a second. I'm trying to make this bigger. All right, your vertical 34.5. That's nice.
What?
34.5.
That is nonsense. I jumped 37. I jumped 37 and a half at the combine. This is preposterous.
Bench 16 reps.
That's a lie too. I did 19. What are we doing? Somebody just input the data.
Broad jump 115.
115?
Broad jump. That's good.
150. No. 115.
For a big tight end, that's not good.
115. That's not even a broad jump. You're standing like it should be like 9 feet or 10 feet or something like that.
Maybe that's in inches. It says broad jump 115.
Yeah. See,
it might be inches. It might be inches. That'd be 10. Not close to 10 feet. Yeah. Okay.
How would that be close to 10 feet?
Well, if it's 115 inches divided by 12 would be close to 10 feet. So 3 cones, 7.24. Yeah. Did I lie to you? And it says you didn't do the shuttle. So I don't know, man. Football Reference in general just got you all jacked up, bro. They don't have 2000 that you even existed. They got their lineup about your 40, allegedly.
Anything, like combine stats and all that, you actually have to get that more from NFL.com. But I will tell you this.
This is Pro Football Reference. They should have it right.
Yeah. But here's the thing about Pro Football Reference is that outside of like star players and stuff like that, historically, anything before like 2010 is not as accurate as as it is now. Like stuff that comes out now and all this stuff, they are dead on. But like prior stuff is not quite as accurate. It's close, but not as accurate.
So here's a site called Mock Draftable. It has you in there, and it also has a 4.89, and but this has 19 reps in the bench. No, this has 14 in the bench press.
Exactly. Come on, man.
But it has it has an asterisk. Measurement from source other than the NFL Combine for your 40. So they put an asterisk by it. So, man, was that your pro day? What'd you run a pro day?
4.61 and 4.67.
That was handheld though, right?
No, man. Stop. Why are you trying to troll me? Why are you trying to bother me today, Aaron?
I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. I missed you, homie. Okay. So just in case people out there who didn't play football, just so you know, nothing bothers someone more than embellishing their 40 time. Your 40 time almost defines your existence, especially for skill guys. So for me saying he ran a 49,
like a tight end where like everybody's like, oh, he was slow.
He's slow anyway.
I'll run you.
Right. So for me to say it was handheld, because handheld times are faster than electronic times by 1.5, not or 0.15, about a tenth and a half usually somewhere, depending on the person's, so that's me. That's like me saying he really ran closer to a 4.8 than a 4.61 by saying it was handheld, which is why he reacted the way he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, okay, all right. Well, I got in my bust George's chops for a little bit out of my system after a couple weeks off. All right, so let me ask you this question. Let's start with this though. So obviously there's a long process from the end of the season. You got your game film, then you got your workout for the combine, then you got your pro day, then you got individual workouts. When I covered the Ducks before and I covered the Seahawks before and I, would talk to NFL scouts and people like that, they all would say, look, your film is the single most important thing. But
yes.
But the combine, the pro day is basically just trying to verify what they think they saw on film. And some people say, what does it matter, their raw jump? What does it matter, this jump or their cone and blah, blah, blah. And what one scout told me a long time ago was he said, look, we can take all those numbers and you can cross-reference them with the past and you can see a correlation between certain numbers and the success of certain players. And one of the things he pointed out to was longevity. So he says like a guy who might be a really good football player but doesn't have great explosion, well, over time, with wear and tear, your explosion is going to diminish. So if you start out with A explosion and you diminish down to B explosion, you're still really good. If you start out with B minus explosion and you degrade over years down to C minus explosion, well, then you're not going to be as good. So they can sort of project your longevity in that way as well. But give me your opinions on just the combine and how important or not important you think it is.
I think the interviews are much more important, but there's so much put into these interviews and really into the on-field performance. You are in underwear. You are not doing, you are out there literally in skims and you are not playing football. The biggest thing that needs to be measured is the man's heart, and his dedication to his craft. Like this is how people get so enamored and you draft Anthony Richardson in the first round. You're like, oh my God, look at her. He hit the roof. Who cares?
Looks like Cam. He's built like Cam. He's got an arm like Jamarcus Russell. And all
turn
that
on the film.
I know. Turn on the film. What's he doing?
He can't hit water standing in a boat. Like what do we think that this is?
Right.
This happens so many times. I remember I was in Jacksonville. We drafted Matt Jones, quarterback from Arkansas, to be a wide receiver because he was 6'6" and ran 4.3 at the combine. They were like, oh my God, he ran 4.3. We have to pick him at wide out. Okay, fine. Draft him in like the 4th round. Like, cool.
Where did they take him?
First round.
Did they really?
Number like 21. 19, 21, something like that. Yep, and we drafted him in the first round. We're like, what? Did we just draft? And Matt, and this is no slight to Matt Jones, super cool dude, like good human. Like I like Matt a lot. But Matt would even tell you, he was like, bro, I had no clue. Like he was like, this was not on my bingo card. And he didn't have the wide receiver work ethic to make it work because he didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And it was just a mess. It happens all the time. They draft measurables instead of looking at the film and being like, okay, yeah, the measurables are good. Man, this film stinks. Oh, this film is bad. And but the hardest part is for coaches to decipher, because all coaches think that they're the smartest guy in the world, that they got the magic knowledge to be able to fix somebody. And sometimes it's difficult because a scheme in college, what you're asked to do in college or what you're coached to do in college might not be what you're going to be asked to do and coached in the NFL. So like for instance, I'm gonna give you a prime example. When we played against Cal when I was in college, they had a linebacker named Scott Fujita, longtime NFL player, NFL linebacker, played with the Saints and a bunch of other teams. Cal used to have them teach this technique to grab because he played Sam Backer, outside linebacker, to grab the tight end's throat when he tried to block. I swear to God. And on the side note, I threatened to kill this man.
I was going to say, did you do that in practice and you tried to kill him?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was in a game. We were playing at Cal. Yeah. And Justin Peele, Justin Peele was like, George, Cal is going to do this, so be prepared for it. I was like, they ain't gonna do this to me. They only doing it to you because they trying you.
They better not try me. George Wrighster, JUCO transfer.
Trying you, you're a white guy. That's what I thought in my mind at that point in time. Bad thinking, right? So, like, second play of the game, and I was like, yo, you put your hand on my neck again, I'm gonna kill you. This is what I told him. And so later on in the game, he does it again, and I'm able to push him over the pile because people fell at his feet behind him. So I kind of push him over the pile, and I'm choking him with two hands. I was like, "Don't you do this, guy? I swear to God!" And he stopped doing it.
He stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't translate to the NFL, is what you're saying. That the throat grab just wouldn't, right?
Correct.
Because you would actually maybe get killed if you did that in the NFL.
Yeah, well, that, and it's not an effective technique.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Like, it doesn't help you do your actual job better. So can he actually do the job that you need to do in the NFL? Because sometimes techniques that are, because I got sidetracked. Sometimes techniques that are taught in college are not, they're scheme specific and are not conducive to what you would be asked to do in the NFL.
Right. Yeah, you got fired up, man. You were taken back. You were there and on the field, reliving that moment. I was like, damn, George about to.
I'm hot today, man. I'm coming in hot.
I made fun of his 40 and stuff, man. Ugh, not good. All right, let's start with Bryce Betcher. Walk on, as you mentioned, turned phenom for the Ducks. So I'm gonna bring up a player. I'm gonna say when he works out and all that kind of stuff. Say what the mock drafts say about him, and then we'll dive into him. So the linebackers report today. Linebackers and tight ends today, and defensive linemen. Sorry, linebackers, defensive linemen, and kickers and punters report today. They work out Thursday. Bench press Friday. The best mock draft for him I saw was one on NFL.com. Has him third round, 94th overall. But most mocks have him anywhere from the 4th to the 7th. Scout I talked to said he checks all the boxes for production and intelligence, worries about him in space, but does believe he can be a green dot guy or captain, a leader on the defense, calling things with his intellect, and can definitely fill the gaps, come downhill, make plays, can play special teams, can go in. He said he can go in for your backup if you need to at middle linebacker. Doesn't know if he's going to develop into a full-time starter, but thinks he can if he can improve in space. What do you think about Mr. Betcher?
Okay, so Bryce Betcher is the kids would describe him as a try-hard, okay?
Right.
And it's funny that is looked at like a negative, right? Like a dude who is going to give every ounce of himself and everything. And it also plays into the stereotypes because when you hear NFL coaches talk, they will describe a white guy as, oh my God, he's a high effort, high motor guy. And, he's just going to give his all. He's not the best athlete in the whole world, but he's athletic enough to get it done. Black guy, no matter if it is the same exact person, because prime example, Byron Leftwich, who I played with, he was described as an athlete. Byron Leftwich is one of the worst athletes that you have ever seen.
Dude, I remember that. I remember people talking about it, dual threat. He can tuck it and go. I'm like, Byron Leftwich, I think he ran like a 5-something at the combine. It was 100% because he was black. 100%.
Yes. Yes.
Like you just assumed.
Exactly. But this time it's true about Bryce Betcher. Okay. But but if you look at how much he's grown as a player, because he was a baseball player, he was a walk-on. And right. I actually think that he's going to, like, his energy is going to allow him to be successful, at least as a special teams guy initially, okay? And I look at him the same way I look at a guy like Noah Sewell, okay? Noah Sewell, who plays for your Chicago Bears.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if he was going to make it in the NFL. And he has. And he started a bunch of games for you guys this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's who I see Bryce Betcher as, except for I think that Bryce Betcher's starting out at a little higher point than Noah was.
Gotcha.
Because Noah wasn't overly physical with blocks and all of that stuff either. He would get swallowed up by blocks. And that's kind of what Bryce does at times. And Bryce's physicality meeting in the hole has to be a little bit better. But he's going to do well on special teams. And if he can get in the league and hang around on special teams for like a year or so and an injury happens in front of him or something like that, he'll get a chance to be a full-time starter. I think that the future is bright for him. He's like somewhere in between a 4. If he could remain a special teams player for a decade, but he could also I put him somewhere between 4 and 7-year player.
What round then? So you think 4 or 5, 6 makes sense?
I think if he tests well, he could end up as high as 3rd, but probably 4.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things the scout says, he's really instinctive and he played well within that scheme. They do a lot of stuff to kind of funnel the ball to him, and he's responsible for making a lot of those plays.
And you got to remember,
he makes them, but
he's smart. He's very smart.
His point was that the scheme allowed him to be in position to make a lot of plays, as opposed to him using elite athleticism and things like that to go out and make plays.
But that also translates well to the NFL too. Like that's literally what the Ravens did with Ray Lewis. If blockers got up on Ray Lewis, like on the times that they did, he couldn't get off blocks.
That's why they had those big giant D linemen in front of him.
Yeah, but if you leave him free, buddy,
Saragusa, yeah.
Every tackle will be made. He ain't missing no tackles. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Mr. Sadiq, projected by everyone to be a first-round pick. Elite athlete, of course. The only knock, and it's not really a knock, but the only thing the scout said, and let me explain this real quick. He said the only thing he doesn't have is he doesn't have the ideal height. So you look at guys like Loveland for the Bears, Warren now for the Colts, Pitts, who went to Atlanta, number 5 overall. Those guys are all 6'6". At 6'3", he says he doesn't give you the same target range as those taller guys do, but he's a very good blocker. And because he's such an agile guy and a good receiver, he's a nightmare. It's a matchup nightmare because like what the Bears are doing with Loveland, if you go nickel when I go 2 tight ends, and the Bears and the Ducks were doing this too with Johnson and Sadiq. If you go nickel, we're blocking the hell out of your nickel. If you go to a base defense, I can flex out Sadiq, and now he's playing like a wide receiver. If you got a linebacker on him, you're toast. So he thinks he's going to test well. He's going to be a guy who's definitely going to go somewhere in the first round. What do you think about that? And then, of course, I'm asking you, even though you clearly don't know that much about tight ends, but what do you think? Huh?
Oh, you're talking about Sadiq.
Yeah. What did I say?
Yeah. I got lost for a second. I thought you were talking about Thieneman.
No,
Sadiq. He is 100% a first round player. He is going to get drafted in the first round because, like you said, he's going to test well. Now, here is my 100% true thoughts about Kenyon Sadiq. Now that the season is over with, I will, and I kind of let it out a little bit in the season, but so I was like, Kenyon Sadiq, I just kept hearing how great of an athlete he was, how he's the best athlete on our team and all of this stuff. And I was like coming into the season, I was like, he looks a little stiff. Sometimes he drops balls. I was like, he's good. I just don't see it fully. I was like, I see the talent. I see the measurables. I see all of that. I was not a true believer. Okay. And then the beginning of the season, I didn't like the way that they were using him. was like, if he's supposed to be one of your best players, why are we not feeding him the ball? Like finding a way to Brock Bowers this whole thing. Okay. Then I was confused. At the beginning of the season, then he dropped a couple balls and then it just wasn't a real factor at all. And I was like, what is Will Stein doing? Okay. I mean, I'm serious. I was like, yes, we're winning games, but the offense isn't looking as great. But why are we not using our best offensive player, which everybody keeps telling me about? So that was my first. I was like, Will, what are you doing, pal? So then the next thing comes up. You have the wide receiver injuries, and now you got to feature the tight ends. This dude started making catches that were special. Diving catches, turning the ball, like he started doing elite level things on top of the blocking, which you saw was elite level blocking, like elite level finishing. Like this is a dude that, and then I was like, oh my God, this dude is an upgraded version of George Kittle. Like in terms of like in college, I'm not saying that he's George Kittle. Like you put him in, he's going to be George Kittle in the NFL. But I'm saying a guy who attacks blocking with the same ferocity and wants to finish plays and everything else. So that's who I look at him as a George Kittle. But I think that he does have better athleticism than George Kittle. Well, especially than what George Kittle has now, because he's been beat the hell up. But yeah, he's 100% undoubtedly a first round pick because there is a 0% chance that he goes and doesn't test well.
All right, that was easy. Okay. Next up here we have. Sorry, real quick. The tight ends report. Like I said, they register Tuesday, workout on Friday, bench press Saturday. You can watch all this on NFL Network, by the way. All right, Jaden Kennedy, defensive back. A lot of people have him going late or being undrafted. What the scout told me was, first he said he loves him. He says he thinks the guy delivers in multiple different ways. Corner, nickel, can play some safety, scrappy. He said the key is going to be because he's on the smaller side, listed 5'10", 175, which he wonders if he's really 175, that he has to test well in order to assure himself of going, before the 6th or 7th or undrafted. He thinks he will test well, but every level of, skill that a DB needs to succeed in the NFL, he believes he has, except maybe the all-out speed you might need and the size. So we'll see how he measures out and we'll see how he tests. But what are your impressions of Jaden? What does he need to do this week?
Okay. Candidate, and I know that this is going to sound wild. To me, it does not matter whether he gets drafted or not. This dude, to me, when I see him, he is a 10-year NFL player. He is going to play a long time. He has good ball skills. He's willing to stick his face in there and tackle. He's good, very good ball skills without committing penalties. Like he's a guy who just you just look and you're like, bro, how did this do? Who was the dude for the what was it? Tariq Woolen, who was the 7th round pick for Seattle a few years ago, and ended up being super good. It's a
great example is Terrence Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly.
7th round pick who played 8 years.
That's exactly what we're working with there. I like him a lot.
And then Troy Hill, he went undrafted and played 10 years.
Yep.
And he was considered undersized too. Let's say here, 5'10", 180, probably 170 coming out. But those are two guys, 7th round undrafted who combined to play 18 years. And 1 year, Hill, he led the NFL in interception and return yards with 119, 2 for touchdowns that year, 184. So that helps you. But still, he had 2 pick sixes that one season. So yeah, so you think that kind of guy. So if he's going to get into camp, he's just going to be a guy you can't cut because he just does too many things. One of the things that the scout said, he said, he's a fun sleeper. He's your typical undersized corner who plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's versatile. He's chippy. He's quick. I'm curious how fast he'll end up being.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, next is the safe. Sorry. Dang it. Hold on. I got so many different things up. All right. So DBs register on Tuesday. They work out Friday, bench Saturday. All right. The other DB from Oregon heading to the combine is Dylan Thieneman. He is projected all over the map, kind of. Some have him slipping into the first round. NFL.com, one of their mocks has him 18 to Minnesota, but most of the rest have him in the second. Even one has him in the third. The scout I talked to believes definitely not falling out of the second. Could go in the first. Thinks he's going to run really well. Loves how he zeroes in like a heat-seeking missile in the run. The fact because the Ducks use him a lot like a linebacker, and loves that aspect of him. But also the fact that he can play cover 2 safety, man-free safety, cover 3 safety, whatever. Likes his overall ball skills, and calls him basically a football gym rat. And so he sees him no later than the second round. What do you think?
100% agree. Dude, Thieneman is a player, bro.
Right.
Is a player. And the cool part, the way Oregon used him was similar to the way that Ohio State used Caleb Downs. He's just a little bit bigger, and and Caleb Downs just never makes a mistake ever. He don't miss the tackle. So if Caleb Downs is a 10 out of 10 college football player, I believe that Thieneman is 9 out of 10. Like it is just like that. It's a step down, but it ain't very much. And I think that his pro potential is very good because he's willing to play in the box. He can play in the box, but he also can cover. Those guys are hard to come by. He reminds me of Deion Grant, who I played with in the league, won a Super Bowl with the Giants. Very good player, good leader. Instincts are good. He's a longtime NFL player too, I think.
One point this guy made, he said he's not getting out of day 2, but if he runs fast enough, he could sneak into day 1. He thinks he's definitely going to run the 4.4s, which surprised me a little bit because I don't know if I saw a 4.4 guy, but not like I was watching his speed that closely.
Yeah. And he's probably a mid 4.4 guy. That would be ideal. If he runs anything faster than a 4.46, that's a plus. If he mess around and run like 4.39. It is going. He will. There is a 0% chance he gets out of the first round. Then,
yeah, I mean, because safety is a spot where you're not. NFL teams aren't necessarily counting on a lot of guys to run 4.4 at safety. That's why when elite running back, elite receivers get downfield against safeties, they usually score.
Exactly.
It's the corners that run them down, not the safeties. But anyway, he added that. It's not a high-end draft class for DBs. He made a good career move coming out this season because it elevates his stock because the competition isn't as stiff this season. All right, next up, Noah Whittington. Running backs, receivers, and quarterbacks register on Tuesday. He will work out on the field Saturday and will bench on Sunday. Whittington, I see right now late rounds to undrafted. One of the points the scout made is he loves his production. He loves his ability to play the game. The problem is he's undersized, 5'8", 205 maybe. He might not run well at the combine, the Scott anticipated, because he's still a little, recovering from the injuries that kept him out of the national championship game. He thinks he definitely will end up in a camp. If he can play special teams, I might keep him around. But he's just not sure if he's going to be a guy that you can use on a regular basis out of the backfield in the NFL.
Well, okay. So I don't disagree with a lot of that. I do think the one part I would disagree with is the special teams part, because most Oregon starters have been special teamers at some point in time. And Noah, I believe for sure, has been a special teamer at some point in time. Like, that's one of the things that you have to do, because Dan and the staff, they're preparing you for the NFL. Like, if you think you're too good to play special teams and all that, no, you're not. You're actually get out there, get some experience the way you know how to do this too, because that's probably going to be the thing that carries you through the beginning of your career. And now,
but is he good? But is he good enough there to stick? Because I mean, you're not going to make him your lead kickoff returner, are you?
No. I'm talking about running down on kickoff, on punt, on punt return, like stuff like that. I'm not talking about as the actual returner. Because I'm not sure if he's dynamic enough to be the returner, but Westbrook was and stuff like that. So it could happen, but I doubt it as the, like, I don't think he's going to be dynamic enough as the actual returner. I think his best chance is to be a special teamer and maybe contribute some as a returner, but mainly the going to go tackle people part. And
but he has to have a function on offense. If you're the third back, what does he give you as a third back that you're going to dress this guy? I think. Well,
your third and fourth back, your fourth back is mainly a special teams guy. Because he reminds me of this guy I played with named Montel Owens, who played 10 years in the league. I think he got like 5 carries his whole entire NFL career.
What's his name?
Montel Owens. But he made the Pro Bowl as a special teamer. He was an undersized back. He was just like Whittington, not overly fast, but he was determined to go make all the tackles. All the tackles. And
5'10", 225, Montel Owen, 9 years. He got 56 carries.
In his whole career? He got 56? Damn.
9 years. 3 touchdowns. He had 200 yards 1 year, and the rest he had 90 combined. All right, we'll see. But this guy was 225, and that was one of the questions.
He was a little meatball.
Yeah, he was bigger and stronger, and maybe could handle that responsibility. So we'll see. I mean, everyone loves Noah. Hope he makes it, but this guy thinks it's going to be kind of tough. All right, wide receiver Malik Benson. As I said, receivers, running backs will work out, register Tuesday, work out Saturday, bench press Sunday. So everything I see on Benson is late rounds to undrafted. This scout said he's got to run fast. Like, he's got to run in the 4.3s probably to get drafted, is what this scout thinks. He runs in the 4.4. Yeah. He's probably going to go undrafted. He's got a lot of things to clean up route running, but he does have the speed and he can return, so that'll help. But just doesn't know if he thinks the production over his career is going to hurt him, although he did have a big year this last year. So that's why he's got to really run well. And according to the scout, he didn't show much in terms of route running savvy or, other than breakaway speed. It's not like he was making a ton of people miss or things like that. Definitely can play some special teams. The return thing will help. But anyway, what do you think?
All right. So I would have said no, right? And I have asked somebody about Malik Benson, a NFL coach, about him. He believes that there's something there. He was like, it was that play. He was like, I was watching the game, that Washington game. He showed that he can move. And then that punt return versus USC, he was like, yo, this is a guy, if he gets the ball in his hands, and he showed some good catching ability too. So they are now intrigued with him. And you are right. If he tests well, then he's going to have a very good shot at things. Very good shot at things.
All right. Then we got the 3 offensive linemen. Let's start with Isaiah World, just because he is injured. Obviously, ACL surgery in January, so he's not going to do any of the agility stuff. Registration day for linemen is Wednesday. They work out Sunday and bench Monday. I guess he could conceivably show up if he shows up to do interviews. And
he will absolutely be at the combine because he wants to do them interviews.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like you said, that's the important part. Now, the highest I saw him projected was 3rd round to the Chargers. And just for the record, mock drafts that go beyond the first round, identifying players with a team, I think are just hilarious because they're like 90% wrong. How do you know what team's going to take the fourth round? But anyway, but just saying, this is what it says. Chargers third round. But his stock has to fall with the ACL. Probably won't play next season. But as the scout said, he's just too good for no one to draft him. Like you draft him, you know, he's injured. He's there learning. Yeah. He does what he can do as he's rehabilitating, but that he's just too good at everything. Like he's just a legitimate NFL tackle.
He's a legitimate athlete. He's a legitimate athlete. And he has to make sure that like him testing was going to be crucial because he did not have the best season that like the season didn't match the expectations. And he had trouble with pass rushers at times. His footwork needs some work. He's not a project, but he's neither. So with the injury, I'm seeing him as a late round draft pick. I got him as a late round draft pick now. I thought he was already going to be in that, like, he does play a premium position, and there are usually 20 tackles taken every year. 20 some tackles drafted every year. So he was probably going to be in the middle of that, around 8 to 10. But now I think he falls down to about 15 to 18, and that'll put him, somewhere in the 5th, 6th round. Somebody's going to be like, yo, this kid's talented. We'll get him healthy. We'll coach him up. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the rounds where a lot of guys you're drafting might end up on practice squad anyway. This is a guy you could be getting a steal. You might not put him on practice squad because someone could steal him, but you keep him around, let him rehabilitate. Boom, you got a guy who could have been a 3rd round pick. All right. Speaking of tackles not living up to the hype for Oregon, I'm glad you brought that up because this scout made it clear that World has some things to work on. Like there were some deficiencies and things he needs to get better at. He also said the same thing about Harkey, which is what you have said. And you indicated on our podcast last time we talked about this, that you thought he was going to project better as a guard. And that's exactly what this scout said. How he framed it, he said he's an athletic lineman with some size. He plays with that edge and that chippiness that you like.
Yep.
But he said he's athletic enough to play tackle, but just not overall good enough. But Correct. You take that athleticism and that nastiness and you put him at guard. Now all of a sudden you got someone who's protecting because he's not in space. And when he gets out and pulls, he can go out and get backers and get DBs and put them on their ass in the run game.
Super athletic guard.
Right. So he likes him a lot. Still thinks probably mid to late rounds, but definitely sees him as a guy who can make his way in the NFL and have success.
Yeah. I think Harkey goes. If it depends on how he tests and how he look. I'm going 3 through 5.
Okay. Yeah, this guy said mid roundish. Yeah, 4.
He could definitely end up as high as a 3rd rounder if he tests well, because they're gonna have him work out at tackle and guard, but guard for the most part. Like everybody is saying that I've talked to, even people at Oregon, they're like, yo, no, this kid's an NFL guard. He's not a tackle.
Fair. Yeah,
like he may be able to, like he'll be a guy that will be a guard, but then if you have catastrophic injuries on the team and he had to move to tackle, the house won't burn down.
Right. He gives you some versatility.
Yes, there we go. Right. That's a nice way.
You might have to have a back chip over there or a tight end help out or something, but he can do it. He can do it against maybe not elite pass rushers. So one of the things that the scout said was, I think his strength will be outrunning in space, pulling, being the next run defender that gets out on edges and flat backs, corners, and linebackers. That's always a good thing. All right. Yes. Now let's get to the beast, Emmanuel Pregnon. Okay. So most mock drafts, late 1st round or in the 2nd is where people have him going. Scouts said he's a bruiser through and through. He's powerful. He's big. He is strong. Called him a mauler. Said he's exactly, Okay, one point he made though, he just said he thinks he'd be better in gap scheme than an outside zone running team because he may not be great getting moving too far out of the box necessarily. But he said, hey, teams that run more gap scheme are going to value him higher than someone else. But there's plenty of teams that do that. Therefore, he's going to have a lot of value in the first or second round. What do you think?
So, Pregnon is a guy that nobody has anything bad to say about him. It's just going to be like he doesn't play a premium position because he's, a guard. So you're already out of the first 15 picks as a guard for the most part. So I think he's going to be either late first round pick, or no later than middle of the second round because there's too much film there. Like there's too much film there. But also when you look at the end of the first round, you're like, oof. He's going to be competing with it. It depends on who likes him better, Pregnon better, or the kid from Penn State, Ione. That has guards, because those are the two real top guards coming into the draft.
Hold on a second. One of the things that's always interesting about football, especially when you're dealing with offensive line, and the offensive line is just, you got to have them.
Yes.
You could have the greatest quarterback and the greatest receivers in the world. If your offensive line is trash, you're just screwed. There's just no way about it. And one of the things when I covered the Seahawks, Pete Carroll was huge about the O-line, right? He was just huge about
you have to be.
Yeah. And so there was this one year where the run game dipped and they had to rely a lot more on the pass, which people didn't want to hear back then, but Russell Wilson was best when he had a running game to play off of. And all this let Russ cook stuff was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't his strength. And that we saw that one year where they let him cook for 4 or 5 games, he was killing it. And all of a sudden teams were like, oh, they're not going to run? Oh, the play action is garbage? Send the house at that 5'11" quarterback, and they started beating the crap out of him. But anyway, one offseason, they tried to fix the O-line, and they went out and they got this guy named Tucker. I can't remember his first name. And on Pro Football Focus, you looked at him like he didn't have the highest grades, but he didn't get penalties. He didn't give up sacks. He was just a big, strong, physical dude in the middle who, if you're running 24 lead to the 4 hole, he's going to move his guy.
Yep.
Period. And so they added, and I remember thinking, I thought they were going to go out and maybe make a big splash. No, they went out and got this guy who was just a run blocking demon. That's just what he did. And the running game ended up top 3 in the conference and the NFL that year. And it wasn't just him; they did some other things too. But it was just a great example of how guys like Pregnon, like you said, there's it's not a premium position, right?
Yeah.
He's not flashy. Sure. He's clearly not as gifted or talented as your tackles are, but he is going to keep the A gap and the B gap are secure on his side. And if you want to run behind him, he is moving mountains to do that. So you played alongside guys like that. You know how valuable they are and how much they change. And when you have a weak one, how it just brings everything down. Like we can't run that run play. We can't protect that. We can't.
It was crazy when I was in the NFL, I never played with one Pro Bowl guy who made the Pro Bowl, I don't think, on the offensive line. But we had a couple guys who were kind of close. But mind you, this when the Pro Bowl was really the Pro Bowl.
You weren't with Baselli?
Nope. He got traded before I got there to go to Houston.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Continue. So
you were making a point?
Yeah, but the guys that I played with, some of them were good, but when we had a bad tackle and one of them is a friend of mine now, oh man, it was rough.
I don't know how many times the Bears have done this where they tried to play it cheap at tackle, and they got some 7th rounder who they think is coming along or some project or whatever, and they stick a guy at left tackle, and you're like, wait a minute, that's like that's like the second most important position on the team. And then and it just like and it's not like he's giving a sack, even giving up a sack every game, but it's not the point. You're giving up pressures. You're just that's not secure over there. The quarterback doesn't feel secure.
Just disruptive all over the place.
And maybe you're not giving up a sack because the quarterback escaped or the quarterback had to step up earlier than he wanted to. I mean, it just trickles. In fact, probably the greatest example ever is the 2014 Ducks when they had Andre White and Johnstone were lost early for the season. And so they had to play Crosby, whom they wanted to redshirt. They had to play him at right tackle. And then Matt Pearson had to play a lot of walk-on. And then Fisher got hurt. Fisher, left tackle, gets hurt. They gave up 19 sacks in 2 games against Washington State and Arizona when they lost to Arizona. It was like 7, maybe it was 19. Maybe it was 12 or 13. It was a lot.
It doesn't matter.
I think it was like 12. It was like 7 one game, 5 the other.
5 is too many.
But the point was the year before they'd only give up 19. That 2-game stretch they gave up, I think it was like 13 or 14. Anyway, the bottom line is Marcus was running for his life. Then Fisher comes back against UCLA, and the domino effect changed everything. And all of a sudden, Marcus wasn't touched the rest of the season until Ohio State.
Yep.
So exactly. So anyway, point being that Pregnon is a guy that teams are going to look at. If I run the type of schemes this guy does, I'm putting him in there, and I don't have to worry about it for the next however many years he's on the team. All right. Are there any guys who weren't invited to the combine that you're curious to see what they do at Pro Day in March? Anyone else jump out? I can only think of anyone that.
I mean, so much of the team is returning.
I know. All these guys came back. Oh, that's one thing the scout said is he extremely disappointed that all those guys on the D-line came back. Like Mateo had an off year, but his athleticism is elite.
We do not care. We do not care.
Tuioti says it's nice, but would probably be a mid-round guy. And then Amari, he says, extremely talented cat. That guy is going to be sought after. And
Amari was probably going to be a late first-round draft pick this year.
Right. And then Bear, he said the only question with Bear is going to be, okay, what was going on at Georgia, USC?
That's why he needed completely. The second year. Because if you put together 2 years of this, then everybody's like.
Then you can forget the past.
Oh yeah.
He's over it.
He got stable. He got stable. Right. He has grown. Right. He has matured. So we do not care about them NFL players, them NFL scouts. Oh my gosh, I wish all them guys had come out. Shut up. Mind your business. Mind your business. Concentrate on them 2026s right now. Because listen, if push comes to shove, we might need to petition the NCAA, get these dudes some lawsuits for next year to get another year of eligibility for 2027.
God, okay. All right, we've exhausted the combine chat. You wanted to mention something about this ranking you did. Was it the most healthy programs in the country? You had the Ducks 2 or something like that. What was the category again?
Okay. It was the top 12 college football programs right now. The current top
programs
12.
In general. And someone had Oregon 4 or 6. What they have them? Someone else had 4. Someone else did the ranking first. They had them 4, and you said Oregon's number 2.
Yes.
And I mocked you a little bit, and you said
so. It was Josh Pate who did it. Okay, it was Josh Pate, and he put out the criteria. So I was like, okay, cool. I will run with your criteria because this makes sense. Okay, number one. So this is a rolling 3-year blend. Okay. So this is the last 3 years. Okay. This is not prior. Nothing else before the last 3 seasons counts. Okay, Aaron? Okay. According to the rules. So are we understanding what the rules are?
Yes, we are, sir.
3 years. On-field results. First thing. Talent acquisition 2. Resource pool. Number 4, organizational stability and structure. And number 5, slight look to the future. Okay? Based upon those criteria, I ranked Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Georgia 3, Indiana 4, Notre Dame 5, Texas 6, Michigan 7, Miami 8, Alabama 9, but their arrow's trending down. Texas A&M 10, Ole Miss 11, and Texas Tech 12.
Wait, was that? Did you have Texas in there?
Yes, Texas is 6.
So you had 5 SEC programs.
No, I did. Yes.
And you're always trashing the SEC. You're always trashing the SEC.
No. I'm always saying that their actual teams are overrated. But right now with the top 12 college football current programs, based upon those criteria, you have to. So the reason why I moved Oregon at number 2. So number 1, Ohio State has basically had the same last 3-year on-field results as Oregon, except for they have a national championship. So they have to be above Oregon. Okay, can we agree on that?
100%.
Okay. Georgia in the last 3 years does not have a college football playoff win, and they have not won a national championship in the last 3 years.
True.
So that puts, and then when you look at on-field results, Oregon's a little bit in front of Georgia in terms of on-field results in the last 3 years. Their talent acquisition is the same right now. Resource pool, Oregon is a little bit above it. Organizational stability and structure, they're both the same. Slight look into the future, they both have bright futures. So is that fair that Georgia is behind Oregon? Based upon those criteria.
Based upon the last 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, you can make the argument.
Okay. I put Indiana at 4. If we're going over the last 3 years, right? 3 years ago, Indiana was 3-9. Their national championship is doing a lot of heavy lifting to get them to number 4 right now. Okay. But I feel like you won a national championship. The future is super bright for you. They have organizational stability. They clearly have a resource pool. They're getting the talent that they want, and the on-field results were there. So, but I didn't feel like because it's 3 years, the criteria was 3 years. If it weren't 3 years, if it were just 2 years, I would have put Indiana at number 2. But I feel like that's fair at number 4. Notre Dame, I have at number 5. Now, mind you, Notre Dame played in the national championship. They missed the college football playoff this year. So that dinged them down a little bit. The year before, they were in the top. They played in the national championship game. And then the year before that, I believe that they finished top 10. Their on-field results have been pretty good, but not as good as the 4 in front of them. Talent acquisition, excellent. One of the highest as well. Resource pool, organizational stability, slight look into the future. But their on-field results took them below Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, and Indiana. Texas, they missed the college football playoff this year. They made it the 2 previous years. So their on-field results are a little bit behind all of those other teams. Their resource pool is great. Talent acquisition is great. Organization, like all of those things are bright. Like, so that's why they're there. Michigan at number 7, even though that they had a cheating national championship 3 years ago.
So the debate here is Oregon. Like you don't have to go through all 12.
No. I was just giving you a gist of it, and then I'll go quickly.
People can go to the Unafraid Show to get the entire breakdown. But go ahead.
Yes. So quickly, Miami at 8, but their arrow is trending.
Boo. Okay, good.
Their arrow is trending up. Okay, you can go through all the things and you can figure it out. Alabama's trending down. Resource pool is not the same as the other people. Organizational stability and structure. They wanted their coach fired. All of this stuff. They are trending down. Texas A&M trending up. Ole Miss is trending up, and so is Texas Tech. But Oregon at number 2, Aaron, based upon those criteria, I know that you say I'm a homer, but based upon those criteria that I didn't even invent, it's hard to put Oregon anywhere besides 2. Yeah,
I mean, look.
Oh, come on. Say the 2 words. Say them.
Just let me finish.
Okay, go.
This isn't a congressional hearing.
Go.
Let me finish my answer. If you don't let me finish my answer, I'm just going to say the Dow's at 50,000.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. All of this is splitting hairs from 2 to 5. Okay. And so I saw someone else gave the Ducks 4. You came in with 2. I'm just like, it's typical George just being a homer. So I had to give you crap about it. But I will admit that the 3-year thing changes the scope. Yes. And so
otherwise Georgia would be in front of Oregon.
You make a rational, in-depth, complete, well-thought-out argument that goes above and beyond being the homer that you are to state your case and support your position. So, bravo. He took a bow.
Hey, that is high praise from an analytical person that you are. That I presented an argument that you're just like, I can't argue with.
I can't say nothing. Like, oh damn. I was trying to. I was like looking up stuff. What can I say? I got nothing. I'll think of something about the next podcast.
Yeah, man, two top 5 finishes, a semifinal, a quarterfinal, and then another top 6 finish.
Recruiting, and you got the resources, and I've already said the window's open next year. And the talent acquisition. I mean, every year they go in the portal and pretty much get whatever they want. So yeah, you make great arguments there. I can't classify it as a homer argument. Congratulations.
Okay.
Good job. All right. Look, he's so happy. He's going to run and tell his wife, honey.
Feels good. I got validated by Aaron today.
That hater validates you? Nah. Is he sick? Anyway. All right. Thanks for listening to the Ducks Confidential podcast. We will come back next week and review how the Ducks did in the podcast. And I'm going to try and dig up George's official 40 time from the pro day and see if that's legit, because I think it was handheld with a sundial, but we'll find out.